Hi guys, welcome back to the shed and welcome back to the first video of 2026. So, new year, new bike. Should we have a look what I've got? It's not a Honda, by the way. Let me show you. Dun dun dun. So, we have a Suzuki GP 100. Now, on camera, it probably looks like a really good bike. And the bones of it are good. It's got an awful paint job. When I mean awful, I mean awful. All the paint's cracked and grazed. Crazed is the word. But someone's loved this bike. I mean, brand new exhaust, new mudguards, new shocks, perfect rims. I don't know if they're new, they look new. New front mudguard, again, front rim, brilliant. Engine doesn't look too bad. She is old enough to be tax and MOT exempt. She is also a runner. Yeah, runs pretty good. Needs a fine fettle, and that's why it's here, really. So this one is one of my bikes. It does belong to me, but it's not one that I think I'm going to keep. And it's not because it's not a Honda. It's just I've got too many old bikes that require attention. We've got this fleet here. But no, my kind of thinking, by the time I've done all the work on it, I'll probably end up keeping it anyway. But yeah, she rides nice, good old two-stroke. You know what they say about two strokes? Any more than two strokes is... Yeah, we won't go into that one. But yeah, nice little bike. And like I said, someone has spent some money. The rear indicators look new. Wiring's a bit dodgy. Front cable hanging out here. But yeah, she does fire up, she does ride. So I think the purpose of this video is just going to go over it, check it mechanically, adjust the points, timing, make sure that's okay. We're going to get the carb out, because I know that leaks, and I've seen it leak through the bottom of the crankcase here. So obviously the carb is inside the cases. So we're going to get the carb out, give that a strip and a clean. I may need to order parts, I don't know till I go in there. Look at the ignition timing, get that sorted out, put the battery on charge, that is flat, see if it takes a charge, although it doesn't need a charged battery, and just a general fettle, tidy up some wiring, and like I say, probably get it ready for sale. Now, I'm not going to do any cosmetics on it. If I was to keep it, I would leave it exactly as it is. I might get the badges if I was to keep it, and we've got a Suzuki, it's not Suzuki, Suzuki, got the eye missing off the badge. But yeah, I mean, the paintwork don't bother me. But if I'm going to sell it for profit, then there's no point me doing the work, because actually, someone would love doing it. I mean, the bare bones, like we said, are brilliant. All the cycle parts are in great condition, brakes, everything, and someone has loved it. So yeah, I think the first task, I'll probably check the ignition timing. But yeah, let's crack on with it. First job was get the points sorted out. So it's not often that I'm shocked, but this bike has shocked me in a few ways. So the first shock was, look at the state of this wiring. I can't stand these Halfords connectors. They're absolutely everywhere. I took the battery off, I've put that on charge. That's not taking a charge, but the next discovery will tell you why. I mean, look at this wiring. I took the side panel off, all the wiring fell out. But when we first looked at the bike, I was like, why is this one unplugged and why is this one unplugged? And we've got a bit of soldering around here on the coil. What really has surprised me is this. CDI ignition. You can't see, but I can. There is no points in this bike. It's got a CDI. So someone has grafted in a different engine. So the engine does say in the code GP100. I've checked the engine numbers out. They do not match the bike. So it's a later engine, or in some cases, I've just Googled it, as early as 77, they could have had CDI. But this bike, being a UK model, wouldn't have had a CDI. It gets worse. I don't know how it all works. But yeah, you can see that one's not connected. That's the same as this one. That should be connected into what would have been a rectifier. And what I mean by it gets worse is here, there's meant to be a rectifier. There is absolutely no rectifier on the bike at all to regulate the current coming back. And that's probably why my battery charger can't tell what battery this is. It's absolutely fried the battery. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been so puzzled. I've gone through the manual. Now this manual is 78 to 82. There is no mention in the electrical section of a CDI. Like I said, I've googled it and it said some models for certain markets did have a CDI. This is all points, or should be points and condenser, all from the generator. And there should be, as it says there, rectifier. And the rectifier, according to the manual, should be bolted directly behind the fuel tank here. And you can see where it would have been positioned. So I can see by the back of the rectifier that that's been spliced in, this connection here, into the wiring loom there. And this is the battery positive, battery negative. Yeah, it's been spliced in. Yeah, very, very confusing. I think what I'm going to do before I go any further is just clarify what's what, tidy all these dodgy connections up, tail off all the ones that are not being used, and then probably re-loom tape it. But yeah, a bit weird. And also, the bike's meant to have a stop-start switch, but it hasn't got one. So that's what this is meant to do. This is meant to cut the bike, according to the wiring diagram, and send it to earth and cut the ignition, or cut the points off, or the power to the points. Because it hasn't got no points, that's why that one's not being used. But yeah, it's a bit of a mess in there. Yeah, I think that's my first job, is getting all this lot sorted out. Very strange, but it works. That's the main thing. We tidy it up, we make it look pretty, and it works regardless of whether it's supposed to have a CDI or not. There's definitely no rectifier there, so I doubt I will put the battery back in. I might get a battery eliminator, same thing I fitted on the C200, and that way then it doesn't matter because it can take all sorts of power into the big capacitor. Yeah, bit of a weird one. I got a bit involved there. I actually forgot to film any of it. I didn't do a lot, as you can see. This is just what come out. A couple bits of wire, some cable ties. So I decided the best course of action, as I haven't got a manual that covers this conversion, was just to pretend I didn't see it. So all I've done is I just rerouted the cables, cable tied them up. I replaced one of the rear indicator lines. Yeah, just put it in there a lot tidier than it was before. So when the tank goes on now, you won't be able to see the wires. So what I'm going to do now, put the tank back on, fire it up and make sure everything still works. Right, I can confirm everything works. The only thing I couldn't get to work was a tail light, which I think is just a dead bulb. I couldn't keep it running long enough to show you. As you can see, the shed is proper smoky now. But yeah, all good. Now that we've got the wiring tidied up and we've confirmed everything works, at least I don't have to mess around with points, I suppose. I'm going to get on and get the carburetor out. I just got a bit sidetracked. I decided I was going to polish the mud guards up a bit to see how much they shine, and they're actually lovely condition. So yeah, we're going to get the carb out. It's behind this cover here. I'll stick you on a time lapse and we'll get that off. Okay, so we got the carb off the bike, up on the bench. I've just emptied it out of fuel. We'll just take it apart and have a look at what's going on, but I can already see the pilot screw looks like it's out too far. But we'll take it apart, see how clean it is, see what needs to be done, and probably use the manual to go back to settings. I think the oil pump is definitely pumping out way too much two-stroke. It's so smoky. So we need to look at those settings after we've done this as well. Pretty dirty. Seen worse though. Definitely seen worse. I'm not going to try and remove that gasket because I've got another one. Take the main jet out. Yeah, I can see through that. Like I said, it's not awful. I've seen a lot worse. Yeah, that seemed way too far out, but I don't know what the settings are. Right, I'm just going to give this a clean up off screen. Not too bad. And yeah, go from there. That's a little pilot. Looks... that's blocked. Okay, cool. That's the carb, all cleaned. Looks a hell of a lot better. Here's all the components: emulsifier tube, main jet washer, pilot jet, pilot screw. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll assemble this all back up and we'll get it back on the bike. Okay, so on with the oil pump. I've cleared access. I can already see that it is over adjusted. That line there should be level with the line on the case when the throttle is applied. So I've left the carb off, which is just hanging behind here, because you have to pull the throttle until the indentation is in line with the top of the mouth of the carb. So if I just do that by eye, it's going to be very difficult. I'll put you down quickly. Let me put you down over here. So pull the carb in one hand, pull the throttle. Right, I'm holding the throttle there. That's it, hold that there. I can see that it's well over adjusted. So what should happen as I pull the throttle, that line there, which is down here, should line up with there. So it's been over pumping oil for a long time. I mean, you can see even in its static point, there's a little arrow there, which is below there. Yeah, so it needs slackening off. So I'll quickly do that. I'm happy with that now. So the line is up here on the cam. The line I need to get to is down there. So when I pull the throttle now, oh, I can't reach. I'm just going to look over this side, pull the throttle. Yep, pump is aligned. It must have been using so much two-stroke oil. I mean, it would explain why we were getting clouds of smoke when we were riding it outside fields. But yeah, put some more two-stroke oil in it. Yeah, so it was actually set just past the point of where it should be at nearly full throttle, tick over, and obviously as you pulled the throttle it even let more oil through. So yeah, no wonder why she was smoking. At one point I thought it might be actually eating its own engine oil, but it doesn't appear to. It just was burning way too much two-stroke. Next I'm just going to check the air filter and get all this lot back together and get the carb back in the engine. It's all back together. No leaks. I have started it once, so I'm going to try and start it again. But it doesn't smoke now. Nothing like it was. Seems to run pretty happy. I'm going to turn that off before I smoke myself out. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that at the moment. Until I ride it properly, I won't know whether it need any more fettling, but seems to rev up okay. But yeah, you never know. Right, next job, now that it's a little bit warmer, going to drain the gearbox oil out, or the engine oil, but the engine runs on 2 strokes, so it's mainly gearbox. Get the gearbox oil out, change that, and then it's just going to be a case of make her look pretty, which is going to be probably the hardest job. Well, that's the oil drained out. Quite happy with that, not too dirty. Doesn't look like it's been in there long, but we're treated to some new stuff. I'm just debating whether I give it Yamaha or give it the expensive stuff. I think I might give it the expensive stuff. Treat it, why not? Fill that up. What I've done while that was draining, I look at the rear light, and the bulb was blown. Now, I still can't find a rectifier on this bike. I don't know whether the CDI is part of a rectifier, but I don't think so. So I'm going to get it running in a minute once I fill the oil up, and then see what kind of voltage we're getting at the battery. See if it's overcharging and blowing bulbs. Also took the headlight bulb out, and the side light is blown, and so is the low beam, only the full beam works. I did briefly put a new 6-volt bulb in. Started out briefly, and it was so bright I was waiting for it to blow. So I've also got a 12-volt bulb I can try. It's going to start blowing bulbs. But yeah, might be fitting a generic 6-volt rectifier to this somehow. But anyway, let's get it full of oil, and we'll mess around with that back light in a minute. Right, I've been messing around with this rear light. Just keep blowing 6-volt bulbs. It turns out, I thought this was a ballast resistor. It is a diode rectifier. Tiny little thing. Without it, even on tick over, AC current's about 11 volts. With it plugged in, tick over, on the battery terminals, we're getting around 7, nearly 8 volts AC. And obviously when I rev DC, when I rev the bike, it goes even higher. So although it does help, it's not doing a man enough job. So I'm going to need some form of rectifier. It's probably why headlight bulb's blown, as in the low beam and the pilot light. Brake light's alright because that's a different circuit, but it keeps blowing the main light, especially when I turn the full beam off, because it sends all the power to the rear. I did try a solid state rectifier. This is off the old C200 over there. Yeah, that didn't do anything, so I don't think this works anyway. Right, so I'm going to leave it there for now. Very happy with the bike. What have we done? So we didn't do the points, it didn't have any. We've tied the wiring up. Carburetor's come out, all cleaned up. Bike is running beautifully. Adjusted the oil pump. Still getting a bit of oil dripping out the exhaust. It must have been well overfed. But yeah, that's nice. What else have I done? Not a lot really. Not much to do. Just get that rectifier fitted. I'm not going to do the paint. I mean, I will paint areas of the frame, like under here where the paint's chipped off, but I'm not going to bother doing the paint, I don't think. But yeah, she runs lovely now. Just got to sort this charging issue out. New battery. Job's a good one. On that note, I think I'll leave it for now, and I'll catch you all in the next one.